This is not a test.
What up, what up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm J and we are locked in. Just in time for Halloween, we have a new series on HBO called It, Welcome to Derry. Now, this is just another iteration of a series that they put together off of the two movies that dropped from It that stemmed from the original It from way back in the days. Now, this is up in Maine, and it's following the story of a young boy that ends up missing, and these kids, they go off to try to find where their friend is. Now, we're going to be breaking this down weekly, doing recaps. It does come out on Sundays. But before we do, if you like it, if you like scary shows, because this series is pretty damn good. It's only one episode, but pretty good. If you like these type of shows, hit that subscribe button. Turn on that notification bell. Make sure you hit that like button. Help me get to 60,000 subscribers. It's really that easy. But let's go ahead and jump into it. This is the recap of episode 1 of It, Welcome to Derry on HBO Max. We start the episode off with young Matt in the movie theater by himself. Now, he's watching the music, man. He's up there singing about trouble. We see people in there smoking cigars. We see people kissing and getting it on. And the old lady turns around and sees young Matt back here making all kinds of noise with his Cracker Jack and his little pacifier. But while he's watching this movie, he ain't supposed to be in here by himself because 1, he didn't pay for a ticket, and 2, he ain't of age. The movie theater usher comes and says, "Hey, young man, you need to get out of here." So Matty, he gets his stuff, he gets up and runs, and he hides behind this poster. Now, there's a little girl that's working here, and they don't tell us her name, but she sees where the boy goes. So when the guy that works there, he's like, "Hey, where'd that little boy go?" She's like, he went that way. Now, her dad works there also, and he's the guy that does the film. So he's asking his daughter, "Did you see him?" "Yeah, I said he went that way." And you can see that the father knows a lot of history about different films, and he's schooling his daughter. So this young boy, he gets up and runs out the front door, and the guy that works there, he chases him out and says, "I'm gonna call the police next time." After Matty leaves the movie theaters, it's snowing outside and he starts to hitchhike. Vehicles are driving by him. No one's stopping to pick him up. It's cold, it's snowing. But then there's a family of 4. They pull over and they say, "Hey, young man, where are you going? You can get in the car with us." They give him a blanket. He gets in the back seat and he says, "I want to go anywhere but Derry." Now remember, Derry is in Maine, and they said, "We're going to Portland." Now I'm not sure if it's Portland, Oregon or Portland, Maine, but that's where the original Portland was, in Maine. So he hops in with the family and they start to ride off. This family is very unique, but we're also hearing on the radio that they're talking about what era we're in. Now, this is during the Cold War and Russia's testing nuclear weapons. Now, this family is unique and they're kind of weird. The little boy is in the back seat spelling stuff. Apple, Apple, autumn, Autumn. The parents are up front. They're just a smiling. Then we see the daughter, and out of nowhere, she opens up a can of liver. She puts her hand in the liver, and with the blood from the liver, she tries to put it on Matty's face, and he's like, "Ugh." As they continue to ride, Matty looks outside the window, and they're going back to Derry. He said, "I thought we were going to Portland." The family is starting to act extremely weird. The mother is pregnant. The little boy is spelling something, O-U-T. O-U-T. You see her belly start to move, but the whole time they talk about O-U-T. Maddie's talking about, "Let me out. O-U-T. 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 As you seen, the baby just popped out, and now the baby got wings just flying around. The family is smiling and laughing. I told you they were very, very weird. Maddie is looking out the window. He's scared as hell. He's trying to get out. The doors won't open. They drive past a bridge. Everyone gets quiet. They all look at Maddie, and the baby jumps out at Maddie and knocks the damn pacifier out of his mouth into the river, and welcome to Derry. Young Phil is keeping track of every plane that flies into Derry, and then we get introduced to Major Leroy and Captain Paul. When they get here, they were just over in Korea, and they were doing what they had to do to survive. Now, when they get here, the colonel meets them, and he's like, "I'm going to take you guys to where you're going to be flying. We got the new B-52 bombers." We hear that Leroy, the major, he's supposed to be moving off base with his family once everything gets set up. Now, if you watch closely as they're driving, The airman that's driving the vehicle, he keeps looking back as if to, hey brother, you need to be careful. This place, Derry, it ain't no place for no black folk. It ain't common up here. But they're going to their position to see where they're going to be working at and look at these new B-52 bomber planes. Now we see Lily. Lily is going to a locker and everyone is staring at her and we're wondering what is happening. When she opens up her locker, a jar of pickles falls on the ground, shatters in front of her feet. There's also more jars of pickles in her locker. Now her friend comes over and like, man, the hell with them. You know, they just always gonna crack jokes, but they're walking off. But they don't tell us what those pickles are for. So while they're walking, Lily, she's like, what's going on? Why is everyone acting like this? Her friend is like, man, don't worry about it. Who cares if you smell like pickles? You still my friend, and I think it smells pretty good. Lily and her friend, as they're walking smelling like pickles, they walk past Phil and his friend Teddy. Now, as they're walking, we see that Phil is really intrigued by aliens coming from the red planet. So he's also talking about maybe it's with these atomic bombs that are dropping, maybe the aliens are already here. Teddy's telling him, chill out, man. None of that stuff is real, man. We don't have to worry about that. But Phil is saying, what if they're already here? We don't know. So these two are friends, and you can see that they hang out with each other. It's just Phil, he's a little out there when it comes to maybe potentially being aliens. And they do make reference to this turtle that's talking about duck and cover. You know, we had tornado drills when we were growing up in school, fire drills. Back then, they used to have, what if there was a nuclear drill? How you duck and take cover. As Major Leroy and Captain Polly pull up to the hangar where they're going to see the B-52 bombers, all the airmen, the mechanics, they're working on the plane, they got to fall in. You got to come over here and meet your senior officer. Now, there's one guy at the end, Masters, that doesn't salute. He doesn't even go to parade rest, which is put your hands behind your back and you stand there until they can tell you at ease, which basically means relax. So Major Leroy's looking at him and he's saying, is everything all right? Well, the general pulls up. And once the general pulls up, it don't matter if you racist or not. The general ain't playing that nonsense. So he straightens Masters up and say that probably won't happen again. And he tells Major Leroy, come to my office tomorrow so we can sit down and actually talk about why you're here and what we're going to be doing. That briefing you get. Phil is over at Teddy's house. Now, Teddy's supposed to be working on homework. Phil's looking out the window trying to be a peeping Tom and see what the lady next door is doing with her bra on. He's waiting on it, but the cat ruins everything and she goes outside of the window. Now, while they're sitting there, they're supposed to be going over homework like Teddy said, but Teddy, he's also drawing some Martians in a Martian invasion. Now, while Phil is on the bed talking to him, he's like, you know, Maddie's been missing. Now, Maddie's been missing for 4 months. He's like, man, what happened to him? And Phil's like, look, he's gone. He's dead. We can't do nothing. We can't change anything. Teddy's saying, man, we went to his birthday party. Maddie's saying we only went because his mom gave us free candy. We didn't even know it was his birthday. We don't know that kid like that. We don't hang out with him. So Teddy gets upset because regardless, it's still a kid that's missing. Lily's looking at herself in the mirror, thinking about how she can wear her hair different. This is before she's getting ready to get in the bath. But when she sits down and tests the water, you're always supposed to test with your feet, not with your hand. She's like, damn, it's a little hot. She looks at the turtle that she has on her bracelet, and it gives us a flashback of her being with Maddie. Now, there's this old viewing deck that the boys, Phil, Teddy, and Matt used to go to. So he takes her up there, but he's not supposed to bring her because this is their quote-unquote little secret spot. While Maddie and Lily are up here, he asks her what happens to her father who passed away. Now, he used to work at a plant where they used to jar up pickles. That's why the kids put the pickles in her locker, because her father ended up dying at the plant because she had a toy and the dad went back in there to get it. But since he knew the job, he went to help people out. He thought the power was off. It wasn't off. He got killed in between a machine. So the kids are making fun of her dad for dying by putting pickle jars up there. Now, we're hearing this, the fireworks start going off. When the fireworks go off, Maddie, he thinks this is an opportunity to try to get a kiss from Lily, but it didn't work. She's like, what? He's like, oh, I'm just going to leave. Now, the reason she has that turtle, because the turtle is for Lucky. They exchanged from the Cracker Jack box a turtle for a rocket ship. Back to the present time, she's getting ready to hop in the bath, but her mom tells her, hey, lay your clothes out. Tomorrow we're going to your dad's gravesite. You haven't seen him in a year. She says, I don't want to go. She said, you're going to go. Now, while she's sitting here, she hears some singing in the drain of the tub. She goes over there, and the singing sounds like Maddie. She's like, Maddie, where are you? Maddie, where are you? He just keeps singing. He's talking about he's down here. She said, if you can hear me, tell me where you're at. Come up here. Get out of there, Maddie. He says, he won't let me. And out of nowhere, you see some fingers come out the drain, and it scares the hell out of Livy. Scared as hell, Lily goes to school the next day and tells her friend, I know what I heard. Now, there are some cool kids in the hallway, and they look at Lily, and you know, they put those jar of pickles in her locker, so they don't really give a damn. But she's talking about what she heard in the bathtub. So her friend takes her in the bathroom, like, we got 2 months left for school. What you're talking about is crazy, and I don't want people talking about you like that. Lily's talking about me. They're not talking about us. They're just talking about me. I thought we were cool. So, you know, the friend, she's been trying to butter up to the cool kids. So Lily's looking at it like, I'm pretty much on my own because you're trying to be with them. Now, while they're talking, there's a girl at the sink and she farts. It's so random, but then she runs out the bathroom. Phil and Teddy, they're about to head back to the little lookout point, hang out a little bit, but when they get there, Lily's sitting out there because remember, Maddie took her up there. She's like, I got to talk to you guys. So she starts to explain what happened in her bathroom. Now, Teddy, he's hearing it and he's curious of what happened to Maddie. Phil is saying, what? This doesn't even make sense. She's like, I know what I heard. He was singing a song. I heard it. So Phil is saying, this is stupid. That means he's been hiding in the damn sewers. No one's heard from him. He knew the exact time that she was going to take a bath. He knew the exact tunnels to get to her room. It doesn't make any sense. And Lily, she storms off like, I know what I heard. I'm not lying to you guys. This wouldn't be something I lie about. So Teddy, he's still believing it and he wants to hear more. Phil is like, nah, forget that. But Teddy says, you believe in Martians and aliens. Why can't you believe in this? Major Leroy shows up to the general's office and he's pouring him up some scotch. Now, this is neat. It ain't on the rocks or anything. We're going to talk like men. He goes over Major Leroy's file and he's seeing, oh, you were in Korea. You flew into the belly of the beast. You dropped bombs. You came back in one piece. We've also found out that Major Leroy didn't come back in one piece. He got hurt. Now, the general's asking him, why did he join the world's greatest Air Force? Now, I was in the Air Force also, and, you know, I stand with Major Leroy. And he's saying, when I was younger, a crop duster used to come through 2 times a month and I used to tag along. So I made my father proud. The general said, I did the same. Now, the general also says we have new B-52 bombers. I want you to fly them. And if we need to go to war, I want you to be that guy. At Teddy's house, we see that he's Jewish and he's sitting down with his brother, his father, and his mother. They're sitting there, he's saying the food is good. Now he wants to ask his father a weird question. And he asks, do you think it's possible that a kid could be in the drains, in the sewers for months without anyone knowing? And the dad is like, I don't know. But then he starts talking about the atrocities that happened during the Holocaust and how reality is already scary enough. Teddy doesn't need to be looking in magazines, and he explains to him that flesh from humans were used to make lampshades and different pieces of furniture. So he throws the magazine and tells Teddy to stop reading those. After dinner, Teddy gets his magazine, goes back in his room. He gets in his bed and he's reading his comic book. But while he's sitting there, the light starts to flicker a little bit. So he looks at it, continues reading. The light flicks again, but this time it turns off. He looks at it, turns it back on, keeps reading the magazine. And then it keeps going on and off. And he's looking like, what the hell is wrong with this damn light? He's trying to read this damn comic book before he goes to sleep. But this time the light turns off. Just like what his father was talking about, the lampshades, it then scared the hell out of Teddy. He fell out the bed. Now the lamp is rolling over and it's following him where he's at. He's in the corner, scared as hell. He ain't even trying to fight back. But then he opens up his eyes and realizes the lamp is gone. And his brother opens the door and says, why am I related to you? Damn, Teddy. The next day, all of the kids get together. And now Phil is starting to believe it because Teddy is throwing up. And they've known each other since kindergarten or first grade. So Lily is like, I told you, I wasn't lying. So what they want to do is find any information that they can on what happened to Maddie. Now remember, this is the 60s. There isn't Google. So they got to go to the library and you got to go look at the microfiche. And these are little bitty pictures that you blow up, and it has a lot of news articles or anything that you want to document. While they're there, Phil's little sister is there and she's talking about, I can sign my own name. There's over 100 books. We ain't trying to hear that. We're trying to find out what happened. Now, this lead in this article says the last person to see Maddie was an unidentified 12-year-old girl at the movie theater. The unidentified girl is Ronnie. Now, her dad was Hank, the black guy that came in. So when the kids go over to her house because they knew she worked at the movie theater, she's like, y'all get the hell out of here. The police have already came and talked to us. They tried to say that my dad was the one that kidnapped that kid. My dad didn't do that. Y'all get the hell out of here. So the kids are like, dang, well, that's the only lead we had. But as they're leaving, they're talking about the sewers, the drains. And the girl Ronnie says, wait a minute, I heard Maddie's voice. I'm not sure if it was him, but he was singing. And I know the song that he was singing is from the movie The Music Man that her dad was talking about when we first seen her. So she's like, listen, y'all come with me and let's go to the movie theater. Major Leroy is getting ready to call it a night and lay it on down for the evening. Well, he gets up and closes the window, but if you look closely, there's two guys standing outside of his window. They both have on gas masks and all black. He gets in the bed, but when he opens up his eyes, there's a guy in front of him. They pick him up out the bed and they start whooping on him. Boom, boom, boom. They want the specifications of the B-52, the new bomber. So these are probably spies. We don't know who they are, but they want the specs. Now, you know, when you take that oath in the military, you cannot give up any classified information. You can only give up your name and your social and where you're from. Well, the major don't give up no information. He gets to fight and they pull a gun on him. Luckily, Captain Paulie kicks in the door. Boom! He comes in and he helps them fight. They get him up out of there. Them guys run. And well, Paulie just wants to make sure that his hair still looks good and it's still greasy. The kids, they follow Ronnie to the movie theater. Now, she's getting ready to put The Music Man on and they're going to watch it and try to figure out what song was being sung. As they go in there, Ronnie goes upstairs and she's setting it up. The kids, they're sitting down there. Teddy and Phil, they get to crying and we're like, what the hell is going on with them? But the movie comes on and Lily, she's like, that's the song right there. That's the song that he was singing. And everyone's looking around like, what? Who was singing it? Maddie was. Lily's like, that is the song right there. And who do they see? They end up seeing Maddie in the movie. So now all the kids are screaming, Maddie, come this way, come this way. Maddie walks to the edge of the screen. He's looking out all of them. And they're like, Maddie, come out. What are you doing? Because you can see that he's reacting to what they're saying. And he's saying, wait a minute. I'm in here because of you. Because of me. What do we do? Everyone's looking at him. And they looking at each other like, what the hell is actually going on here? Well, now things are getting a little different. Maddie has an evil grin on his face. And everyone's looking, thinking, what? And out of nowhere, that same baby pops up out the damn screen and everyone starts running around. They scared as hell. This thing is ugly. This thing is bigger than it was. And it is flying around and it is tearing people up. It gets a hold of Phil, rips him in half. It goes after Teddy, throws him against the damn glass up top where Ronnie is at. Everyone is running. They trying to get out of here. Ronnie's scared. On the ground, we see Lily reaching for little Susie's hand. They rip her body off, and man, everyone is got. And the last thing we see is Ronnie and Lily in the lobby, and Lily has Susie's little hand. Welcome to Derry, where your wildest dreams can come true. That's episode 1 to recap. What are your thoughts on this series? And what the hell would you have done if you was in that vehicle and the family was out, O-U-T, out, O-U-T, or in the movie theater and that thing was flying around? I'm sorry, at that point, it's every man for himself. Let me know what you think. I'm Mo.J. We will be having recaps of this every single Monday. Hit that subscribe button, help me get to 60,000 subscribers. Thanks for watching. I'm out.
Jimmy on the beat, boy.